Oh, hi guys. First of all, congratulations on the project. I have to say that I think the visual is so enchanting. It's really, really nice. And I wanted you to tell me what was your biggest inspirations for this TV show?
Thank you so much. Some of our biggest inspirations come from different places. For example, the author, Mary Shelley, is perhaps the biggest influence for the show. She is the author of the book called Frankenstein. So it is amazing for us that such a young author was able to create such a universal classic. And we decided to make a character that stems from her spirit, and she is Frankelda. Frankelda is like our reinterpretation of what would Mary Shelley be if she was a ghost nowadays. Or some other inspirations come from spooky shows that we watched as kids. Sometimes these shows would leave us thinking, and maybe they gave us nightmares. But after all these years, these shows still appear in our minds and in our ideas. So that's why we realized that when you watch something spooky when you're a kid, it connects with you. You carry with it through your life because you learn something. It's not something that you can easily forget.
Yeah, and then also we were inspired by the toys that we collected when we were kids. We, as creators of stop motion, we love to create our toys, so we want to give that quality to our puppets and our characters that all seem to be like toys with a lot of accessories. And that's like that's something really funny that we wanted to add to this production, because when you play with your fears, you kind of understand them and you can be like more happy, or you can go on when you face them, no? And I think that it's going to help a lot of children to see some of their fears represented as toys that they see how they move and sing.
I completely agree with you too, because as you guys were saying about the spooky shows you watched when you were kids, I remember that when I was a kid, I was a huge fan of Goosebumps.
Yeah.
You were afraid of the dark, which are two classic horror shows for kids, right? And I wanted to know from you, how did you manage to bring all of that spooky environment in a way that kids can relate to, and they can get a little bit scared, but not too scared, right?
Yeah, we were really fortunate because Cartoon Network and HBO Max gave us the opportunity to have really spooky peaks in the show. So I think it's a balance between horror and comedy. We were allowed to have like really spooky and scary moments, but then another comic one is follows. And also what helps us is that these tales are told by Frankelda, and she is really funny, and she's
charming.
Yes, she's really charming. So even though there are really scary moments, the kids will know that they are part of Frankelda's tale, and Frankelda is her friend. So another really good thing that we were really happy, and we have to give a lot of thanks to Jaime and all his team, is that they allow us that there are no happy endings at the end of the tales, because we wanted to explore this aspect of tragedy in stories told to children, because sometimes life is like that. There's no always happy ending, but from every that thing you can have reflections about what happened, and maybe in the story there is no a happy ending, but you in your heart have a happy ending, because you can say, I don't want that, I have to change and and I don't want to be like Magali or Nemo, that are characters of our tales.
Just to add from the Warner Media perspective and Cartoon Network or HBO Max, I think we were inspired by what you said, Rafael, about Are You Afraid to the Dark or Goosebumps, but those were always US shows that were very successful in Latin America, and we've been wanting for a while to explore horror kids productions in Latin America with that Latin American sense. We think that the relationship with horror in Latin America is different than anywhere else. So I think the guys and the crew achieved to accomplish the right level of fear, the right level of horror, and at the end you have comedy, you have music, you have the guide of Frankelda that keeps you safe through the whole experience, and at the end, at the very end, you get the message, right? Like it's a small awakening in each of the episodes when you really connect with the story, connect with the lesson, and understand something about yourself through the journey of the character. So I think for me it's the perfect balance of scary moments and excellent storytelling for the kids to connect and enjoy, and not so kids, right? I think other audiences will enjoy too.
I couldn't agree with you more, Heine, because I was gonna ask you about how you think you can create those stories in the show in a way that is related to Latin America. Did you guys get any inspiration from, I don't know, particular tales like La Llorona or other characters that are popular characters in many legends that we have here in Latin America, right? Did you get any inspiration from those characters?
We got just a little bit of inspiration. After all, each of our monsters is a mixture of a lot of things, of some myths, of some animals, of maybe some characters that were in a story that we read when we were young. But I think that what makes this series so unique is that it has definitely that Latin American flavor, in which you cannot separate very clearly what is horror, what is comedy, what is musical. I think that's something that most of the Latin American countries have in common, that everything goes along, and for kids, maybe kids in Latin America are more aware than kids in America about the tragedies in life. They are maybe a little bit less overprotected. So when you're a kid, it's kind of common to learn about something tragic that happened, and at the same time be able to watch a cartoon, and at the same time have some problems in the house. So that way in which we Latin Americans live the life to its fullest, and everything is so climatic, I think that is very well reflected on this series. It's a strange mixture, and so far we think there's nothing quite like it.
Prontos para as gostosuras ou travessuras? Esse será o melhor Halloween de todos!
Sabem o que eu adoro no Halloween? A gente pode ser quem a gente quiser.